Caterpillar. It's got a C15 in it.
But it belonged to everyone in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So today is October the 17th, 2024.
And
What
He
ye-
never said a word about
What year is this truck?
it. No telling me.
It's been sitting. You can tell it's been sitting. Look at that. It's got a.
You on it too.
Oh wow! Look at.
Almost roadworthy here. You can tell what's wrong with it. That chassis. That's rare for a Peterbilt to have a good chassis. Look
There's a
at that.
tree growing up in the middle of it. It's been sitting there for a long time.
It ain't been sitting here that long.
Look at the tree. It has a tree growing up in the middle of it.
That just happened over the summertime, Ricky.
So what about this chassis, Stephen?
Hey, look at this chassis. It looks brand new. These Peterbilts, Peterbilt chassis, they get ate up.
it's got one of them elbow springs on it.
Oh yeah, I've never ran those. What the heck is that called anyway?
I'm not sure. Low air leaf.
Well,
Peterbilt, low air leaf.
the one that I had was low air leaf with the hook back here. Didn't go over the top like that.
Well,
I don't know who. This is a nice truck.
It's got a. That's an extra long sleeper on it, isn't it?
70-inch bump.
you can ask Fred about it. I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, well he ain't said nothing, so he probably don't have nothing to do with it. He knows I'm looking for trucks.
Peterbilt. We've had a couple of Peterbilts.
3 of them to be exact.
Yeah.
In fact, Bill knows. He remembers me driving my Peterbilts. He don't even remember my Freightliner.
No, I remember the Peterbilt.
Well, we only had the Freightliner for two.
I had that black Freightliner. You did an inspection on it.
Yeah,
It had flames on the hood.
yeah.
Silver flame. It was black. Classic. That was my last truck. That's the one I traded for the...
Oh wow! Look at that damage right there.
I didn't get no for that. Just for the GHC. I didn't make a buck with it. I couldn't even pay my bills. I had to come down here and beg Fred to let me work. I said, Fred, I can't pay my bills. I need some work.
Yeah, the skid steer thing did not work out for us at all.
Here's the big thing.
So this is pretty much like a graveyard for trucks, isn't it?
Over here they are.
That's it.
This
Don't
is a
smell
place.
like no cigarette.
Huh?
Don't smell like no
Open
cigarette.
it. Open it up, and do the sniff test.
I just did. See, you can generally see a brown when you look at it,
Oh yeah.
but I don't smell no cigarettes. Plus, there's no brown on the liner up there, a headliner.
But
It's been
Ricky.
abused. That's for sure.
Ricky was driving a, I believe it was a cowboy. But anyway, it had been smoked in it, and smoked and smoked and smoked. Well, he took the panels out of the door and washed them down with the pressure washer.
Yeah, Fred was telling me about that.
And yellow water run out of them, and about the 4th time it cleared up.
That's the way that yellow one would be out there. That thing is nasty.
Yeah, I'll agree with you.
Yeah,
'Cause
it had a major air leak right there and tried to plug it up.
so what happened here? Do you think right here? Look at that.
I'm not sure.
It's no telling. I would take
I'm
all
not
that off
sure.
anyway if it were mine.
So is this pretty much, Mr. Bill? Is this pretty much the
I
lineup
would
of
take
a
all
graveyard,
that
a
off.
graveyard of trucks out here?
Does it have a depth tank on it?
I don't know.
It shouldn't have a depth tank. I don't see it. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is that right there?
I don't know.
Yeah. What the heck making this thing stay up?
Like I said, you'd have to ask Fred about it, because I don't know.
I don't either.
Wow.
It showed up here one day.
Look at all that. Look at all that. Is that mold?
That's
Yeah.
what I cleaned off the Cadillac.
all of that came off the Cadillac.
I got a Cadillac given to me, and it looked just like it.
Yeah, our neighbors gave us a Cadillac, a 2000 Cadillac, and
Yeah, it's got that leaky North Star.
but it wasn't like that.
But I like the car. I only use a car 2 or 3 times a year. So doesn't matter if it leaks oil.
Yeah, I had a Cadillac with a North Star.
Yeah, I love that.
So is that
I don't care
are
if
the
it leaks
North
oil,
North
it's a good
Star is prone to leaks? Is that
Oh
correct?
yeah, when they first came out, they were blowing head gaskets.
The North
Oh,
Star.
they had problems with them.
That's because they were putting them cheap gaskets on
Is this the truck that you were looking at right here?
it. Yeah.
Well, what year is this?
96.
I told Bill I'm interested in it, but I got to do the math.
Well, come here and tell me what you like about it.
I like that it's got that N14 in it. I like that it's an FLD. I like that it's a flat top. It'd make a really good flatbed truck.
So, 1996.
That's what I like about it. And I don't know what kind of fuel mileage the M14s get, but they're known.
You can figure 5, and if you driving halfway decent, it'll get 6.
How long has this truck been sitting here?
That one, it ain't been sitting there long.
It looks
It's
like
been
it
sitting
has.
about 4 or 5 years.
Well,
Fred moved it around here. It
Yeah.
was sitting out by the road.
Yeah, I seen it out there.
well, to me, you said not that long, sitting for 4 or 5 years. That's sitting, isn't it?
Well, Ricky, I mean, 4 or 5 years goes by before you know it.
Oh, I had it running. Oh, last year in year.
Yeah, it just takes some batteries.
I put them 3 batteries on it and put
Did-
Ned hand me the computer and I put that on it and
Did you get up in it, Stephen?
Yeah, it's all right.
Well, here, get up in it and show everybody what it looks like.
It looks like an old truck.
Would you get up in it? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm considering this here old truck because I don't need much more than an old truck, no more than what I'm planning on doing. So, you got this old 96. It's been sitting around. It hasn't been used a whole lot. I think it's just right under $1 million under it, I guess. It's old flat top. It's old dusty. It's never been smoked in that I know of. Doesn't smell like it. And so, Ricky wanted me to show you. It's what the inside of an old freight shaker looked like. It'll come back.
What about this? That's some major issues right there.
My number one concern is them bud wheels.
Bug wheels.
Not bug. Bud. B-U-D, like Budweiser.
Oh, why are they called bug wheels?
They're the old style wheels. That's my number one
Them wheels
concern.
come out in that lug pattern and all that style wheel came out in the 30s.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
In the 1930s?
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
So basically 100 years ago almost.
but anyway, so,
But
I'm
you can
gonna-
still buy a truck with that lug pattern.
yeah. So I need to find out some information about them wheels, because that's the first thing I'd do is put wheels on it.
The wheels on the truck go round and round.
But that's
So-
the truck that I come to see, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not looking for something big and fancy, just something to do the job. I'm going to run regional. I'm
Look
not
at
going to
that,
run across the
Stevie.
country. Ruthie, I'd take all that off. Don't need it. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to do no work. Just take it off.
Huh.
Polish the tanks. And besides, if I wanted to fix it, I could fix it. All I got to do is add some fiberglass.
Right. Oh, you've done that a couple times.
Yeah.
Look at that green truck.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with them old Colombians.
Oh, is that what that is, a Colombian?
Yeah. Well, that's a Century right there. But
Same thing.
Why,
yeah.
are they known to have problems?
No, I just well, they're worthless. You can't. They're a dime a dozen, and so. I
Had a
mean,
lot of. This truck had a lot of wiring problems.
Oh, did it? Yeah, they did have wiring problems. I forgot about that.
And
It says Freightliner on it, Stephen.
I know what it says,
But
really.
you said Colombian.
but they had a lot of trouble with it.
It's a Freightliner. You got Freightliner Classics. You got Freightliner FLDs. You got Freightliner Centuries. You got Freightliner Colombians. You got Freightliner whatever this thing, Cascadia.
Yeah.
And that's a Freightliner there too. And I don't know what kind of Freightliner. FL80.
Yeah.
And
That's their commercial.
so Freightliner has a lot of products.
Oh, okay. All right.
They're just like Chevrolet. They build a lot of stuff. They even build vans. And in fact, I think Freightliner got. Who's owning Freightliner now? Is that Chrysler?
Oh.
Or
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Mercedes owns Freightliner.
Now they
Yeah.
do. And
Oh.
Freightliner's
They
been
have for almost 20 years.
Freightliner's been around since the beginning of the show with Peterbilt. And
That's funny. Look at.
in fact,
all
I think
these are-
Freightliner came out before Peterbilt, didn't they?
I'm not sure about the
It was pretty
history
darn
when
close
they come out,
that they were in the battle there. in the
but they
get-go.
Freightliner was built initially by
A lumber company.
well, no, it was a trucking company out in California,
That was moving logs.
and
I remember some of that history.
but anyway, they I think it was Consolidated Freightways or somebody, but anyway, it was a big truck line, and they were having trouble getting what they wanted in a truck. So they said, well, we'll just build us a truck.
Right.
Well, they started building trucks, and then everybody come along wanting one of them.
Yeah.
So when that happened, they said, we'll just start building trucks. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
And they're still building trucks, but the freight company's gone.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I count 4 Freightliners and then a Peterbilt.
There's
1,
old Peterbilt.
2.
There's a 379 down there.
On the other side of the trailer.
Yeah. It's missing everything, but it's there.
So here are 4 Freightliners, and then there's that Peterbilt. So you have a. What are you talking about down here, Stephen?
Hey, remember my first Peterbilt? It's a kit truck. Remember my 96?
Yes. Oh, it's bare bones. It's a skeleton.
Got a bunch of money, you can have it. Put it together.
What do you mean it's a kit?
That means you got to put it together.
Huh.
Like a puzzle.
Oh. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a sad looking truck. Woo, that's sad. Everything about that truck is sad. Instead of the little engine that could. Oh, wow. The little engine that could. I think I can. So, oh, it doesn't even have a back to it. Look at that. That's really sad. It's seen better days. It's seen better days. The little Freightliner that used to be. I mean, not Freightliner, the Peterbilt. This red Peterbilt that used to be. It's seen better days.
We're not running pure antifreeze in it or
Well, that one, what happened to it is where it comes up out of the block and comes over and it's got that wide area for the head gasket.
Right.
It was cracked. One of them was cracked right through that.
So, Stephen, we were just talking about how Chrysler owns Freightliner. I didn't know that.
No, Mercedes owns Freightliner.
Oh, Mercedes.
And Mercedes also owns Chrysler.
So Mercedes
if they
owns.
haven't got rid of it yet.
Yeah, they've divested themselves.
Did they get
Fiat
rid-
owns
Okay.
Chrysler.
Fiat.
Fiat, however you want to say it.
If
Like
I,
most American businesses, the foreign countries are buying us out.
so Fiat owns Chrysler and Mercedes owns Freightliner.
Yeah.
And those are both examples of two foreign countries buying American
Yeah,
companies.
it's just like a foreign country just bought out UPS too.
Really?
Yeah, and UPS is one of the biggest.
Biggest trucking company in the world.
Yeah, and so yeah, so
UPS is the
a
biggest.
European country bought out UPS just this last year, and what was I going to say? Oh, and they also have the biggest brokerage company in the world too. So,
Yeah.
so they're the #1 biggest brokerage company and the #1 largest trucking company, and they were bought out by Europe.
And we're talking about
A
the
business in
brown, the
Europe.
little brown trucks,
That's
UPS.
called XPO, and it's their real name I don't know, but yeah. So they sold out just last year.
Well, what about Federal Express? Are they going to be bought out too by a foreign company?
I don't know.
If somebody's got enough money.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, is somebody's got the money.
So we're allowing.
You keep voting Democrat, and we'll all have to sell out.
So we are allowing our American companies to be bought out by
yeah.
foreign companies.
Yeah. See, Chrysler bought Freightliner, and then they about went broke. And then,
That was because they bought AMC Jeep.
and then Mercedes bought Chrysler and wished they hadn't. And then they got Freightliner in the deal. Well, they wanted, after they had Freightliner for a little while, they wanted Freightliner.
Right. That's where the money was at.
Yeah. But now, Freightliner is on its own.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
So they recovered. They built them back to where they had success.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't and Freightliner owned TA too, didn't they? For a while. And now TA's bought out by a foreign company.
I'm not sure.
I think they're bought out by that one company. It's the green gas station. What's it called?
BP, British Petroleum.
Yeah, maybe that's who it is.
BP.
Yeah.
Well, and then isn't Pilot buying up everything? Pilot.
Well, yeah, they've been doing that for the last 30 years,
But they're an American company. Pilot.
well, they're owned by, what do you call those, shareholders?
Shareholders.
Yeah.
But it's not a foreign entity.
No, well, some of the shareholders might be anywhere. China,
One
you
of-
don't know.
One of the guys was that had an interest in it was the governor of Tennessee for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then he got in trouble for not
Doing
paying back.
something.
Yeah, paying back those points that you earned.
The governor of Tennessee, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so they had a thing where if you had your fleet on there, you would get like 50 cents off a gallon, but he wouldn't pay it back. And so they sued him and sued him and sued him. I don't know how that turned out.
I think they finally had to straighten themselves up with it.
You had to pay up. Huh?
And we're talking about a former governor of Tennessee, is that correct?
Yeah,
That owned,
another crook, imagine that.
imagine that. You're going to go out and vote, aren't you, in a couple of weeks? You got your,
Yeah.
you're ready to go vote, aren't you?
Yeah. That's right. I'm going to vote for somebody that's for us, Americans.
Right.
Imagine who that is.
But you do know, Mr. Bill, that no matter who wins the election, this chaos is not over. I mean, no matter who wins, we're not going to stop hearing about the election just because it's over. Technically, we're not going to stop hearing about it.
No. But we might start making some money again,
But
or not.
I'd a whole lot rather Trump get the call from Putin than
Then scaredy cat lying
yeah.
Kamala.
for Harris to get the call.
All she'd be worried
About
about is trying to
3 in
get
the
her
morning.
guns. So, let's get their guns and let's bring in more illegal aliens. Let's give them all of our money.
Oh, hey, talk to me about this, if you don't mind. Stephen and I were having a conversation earlier about how a lot of trucking companies are hiring people that don't even speak English. What can you tell me about that?
Technically, they can't do that.
Well, but they do.
yeah. Well, who gave the man the CDL?
That's right.
Because it says explicitly in the book that if you can't speak English well
Read or
enough
write. That's
to negotiate the country, then you can't have a CDL.
Right.
So.
But why is it? So technically they're not allowed to, but it's still happening.
No, they're breaking the law. Just like they've been breaking the law since day one.
Yeah.
The first thing they did was open up the gates, and then they got them to come over here. And then they changed all our driver's license places out of the courthouse and made them private businesses, and then put interpreters in there and gave them licenses. And then all the big outfits, they told them if you don't hire them, you're going to get penalized.
But as long as your career has expanded, how many years have you been trucking?
Well, I started
You're
driving.
85 this year?
I started driving when I was 17.
Did Stephen say you're 85? Are you 85?
Yeah.
And
No, I'm not 85. I'm 84.
oh, you're
well,
84.
and
Oh, you're
three
giving him
quarters.
you're giving him an extra year. Okay, you're 84, and you've been driving since you were 17.
Yeah.
And
You were
so-
born in 38, right?
No, I was born in 40.
Okay. My dad.
January of 40.
My dad was born in 38, so
So you'll be,
that's what I got mixed up.
and you're still driving?
I hadn't driven since I got retired.
Okay, okay. But in all the years, Mr. Bill, that you drove, you came across situations where you came across people who couldn't speak English, correct?
Yeah, right here.
Well, right here. Right here.
Yeah.
So,
There was a guy that drove on a lot, and he just pulled up in the middle of the lot. And
Was
so
boss, wasn't
he came in the office and talked to Rose.
does she speak
And-
Spanish?
Huh?
Does Rose speak Spanish?
No. He was talking into his telephone, and then his telephone was
Translating.
translating. So I went out to find out what was wrong with his truck. So I talked into his telephone, and it talked to him. Then he talked into the telephone,
Oh, wow.
talked back to me, and he was driving. I can't remember who he's driving for.
But was it Spanish? Was it Spanish?
Nah, I think he
No.
was a Venezuelan dude. I think.
It could have been. It could have been.
I think I was here that day, and he wasn't Mexican. He didn't have the same complexion. He was tall and slender, so I think he was Venezuelan.
Yeah, but I think that
and black.
Yeah.
Venezuelans do speak Spanish. I think I could be wrong.
It's a Spaniard language,
Spanish
but it's not
language.
Mexican.
Right.
So people from Spain, they speak Spanish, but they don't speak Mexican.
Well, that's correct. There's two different types of Spanish.
There are several different types.
Yeah.
So, how did you feel about him talking into a phone, trying to talk to you and communicate
Well,
with you?
I just knew what the regulation was, and I said, "Oh, who give this guy a CDL?"
Yeah.
So
And couldn't whoever issued this?
What is his phone supposed to read the signs as he's going
he's
down
supposed
the
to
road?
be able to read the signs and take direction.
Right.
And if he doesn't speak English, he can't do that, obviously.
That's true.
So,
And I see him going down the road with their feet up on the dash, a movie playing, and the movie's up in the center of the windshield, watching a movie, driving down the road, and I look in the mirror and they're 3 feet on my side of the road, my side of the line, and I have to get over in order to let them pass. And when they pass, I see them sitting with their feet up on the dash watching the movie.
oh wow.
And you yell at them and they don't have a CB.
So okay, so what if somebody gets in an accident? They can't
The
speak.
government covers for them.
Really?
Well, they're the ones that are paying them to come. They're gonna cover for them.
So, what was your level of frustration that day, Mr. Bill? What was your level of frustration?
I wasn't frustrated because he wanted somebody to fix his truck. And after I found out what was wrong with it, I told him it was going to take, it'd take a couple of days. That he needed to get it back to his shop. And after the telephone told him all that, he got in it and left. So
Yep.
Hmm.
Gone.
Wow.
He was in that white Freightliner, wasn't he?
I can't remember what he was in. I don't.
I think I was fueling up outside.
For some
that
reason,
day.
I thought he was in a Kenworth,
Huh.
like that one. No,
Oh.
that shape.
Well, it might have been a different day.
So, are there certain parts of the country, namely Florida, perhaps maybe Miami area, that like they're almost all Spanish speaking?
Well, you can go to a lot of places like southern Florida. You won't find anybody. Look, I delivered in Hialeah.
Yeah, to that.
Nobody speaks English in Hialeah.
So, I remember that he would take those air conditioning air conditioning foam down to
insulation
Hialeah.
board.
And none of them spoke
They
in
use
English.
it to make coolers.
So then, how did you communicate with the people then?
Sign language. This way, that way. Get it off.
Oh wow!
Thanks.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! Well, thank you, Mr. Bill.
Well, I'm going to go to the house and see
Thank
if
you,
I can get
Mr.
something
Bill.
to eat.
I
Thank-
ain't making no promises. I'll crunch
Well,
the numbers.
hey, if
But I'm-
somebody comes along and does like that, well, then it might be gone.
That's
Well, I
right.
hear you. First
Right.
one, first. What is it called?
First come, first serve.
served.
So we've been talking to Mr. Bill Thalman and at Kentucky Western Truck Lines in
They've been my
Hopkinsville.
friends for over 20 years. Every time I need something, I come over here, and they got it.
And this
So-
is well before you were on the payroll then, right? This is like...
Yeah, well, I haven't worked for them since this summer, but
Right, that's what I'm saying. But
He was on his own payroll. Then.
that's right, as
right.
an owner-operator, that's right. So you've known the Thalman brothers for 20 years,
yeah,
right?
some real nice people.
So, well, we thank you for your time today. Thank you so much.
Now-
Appreciate it.
I'm out over the world.
You are. In
Yeah,
fact, we
and-
get watched in 37 different countries.
37 different countries. So people from all over the world are going to see you, Mr. Bill Thalman.
Right. 37 different countries.
I'll be getting telephone calls from Siberia.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bill.
We'll see you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.